What's up everybody, AnimeJunky here, and in this video I'll be adding another part to the What If Naruto the Rinnegan series. This is because you guys wanted to demolish the last like goal, so I'll raise it once again to 900 likes for part 5 to drop. Like usual, I will be recapping, but unusually we will have a guest star in here, as the title may suggest. We will be featuring AnimeJunky in a part of this What If. But like I said, I still will be recapping and jumping right into it. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, in the last part of this What If, we see Naruto and the rest of Team 7 come back from their mission in the Land of Waves. Along the way, Naruto makes a somewhat interesting realization of one of his abilities. After this, they enter the Shonen exams and have a rather interesting interaction with Might Guy's team. And we left off in particular with them finishing the Forest of Death stage, narrowly escaping Orochimaru, and they finish the preliminary part of the exams and are sent directly into the 1-month training.
Like AnimeJunky said, we left out with everybody getting 1 month to train, and since Naruto is essentially once again seen as the second coming of Christ, Naruto is allowed to train with nearly whoever he wants to, or at least the option to, although Naruto declines this opportunity in order to train in solitude, in order to gain a greater understanding of his own abilities that originate from the Rinnegan. Until after 2 days of training, Naruto visits the hot springs where he meets Jiraiya, who upon seeing Naruto instantly pegs him for Naruto, the son of Kushina and Minato. And then right after this, he notices the Rinnegan. This makes him remember Nagato, his disciple from the olden days, with Tsunade and Orochimaru, and Naruto seems to be very much like Nagato when he was younger. So in the spirits of training the savior of the world, Jiraiya decides to train Naruto, realizing that he may be the one that the prophecy was talking about. So taking this in consideration, Jiraiya says that he will teach Naruto, and to Jiraiya's surprise, Naruto refuses his offer. The reason for this is because Naruto thinks that using his Rinnegan ability when he cannot control them while near other people will end up hurting them. Jiraiya hears this and just chuckles to himself. Naruto tells Jiraiya that he's serious. Jiraiya just said that no matter how much of a prodigy you are, there is no way a mere genin could harm a legendary Seinen. Naruto takes Jiraiya up on that statement and tells him to prove it. If Naruto cannot land a hit on him the entire day, then he'll become Jiraiya's disciple, and then if Naruto can, then Jiraiya will leave Naruto alone. And then they shake on this deal, and then Jiraiya uses body flicker and is off. Naruto instantly reacts, making 10 shadow clones who will all spread out over the village looking for Jiraiya. Over these 2 days alone, Naruto has learned a lot about the Rinnegan and its abilities, and he plans to use them to the fullest ability. As his clones are spreading over the village, Naruto decides to take somewhat stealthy approach might be the best way to go, although he isn't aware of the means to do so. He just gets on a high vantage point and starts surveying the land via shadow clones. Then he sees that one of the clones have found Jiraiya without being noticed, and instantly all of the other clones along with Naruto have been summoned to that location. After this, they all surround Jiraiya in the village and tells them to give up since there isn't any way he's going to be able to escape. Jiraiya is impressed that he was found, but then he just clags his clogs and runs past all of them before any of them can react. Naruto realizes that this Jiraiya guy makes Jonin like Kakashi and lower level ninja look like kids, at least terms of raw stats. And with that, Naruto knows that he has to force Jiraiya into a direct confrontation in order to have a chance, and Naruto starts to formulate a plan onto how to possibly pull this off.
We now shift over to a Naruto who has formulated a plan and has basically been charging up some chakra and figured out the polar opposite to his universal pull ability. Although to the degree that he can control is iffy. In fact, Naruto has no idea how to limit the strength of this since he's just accidentally used it when forming the plan and testing some theories out. After this though, we see Naruto leap up to a high building and he sees Jiraiya running to the outer gate of the village, hoping to lose Naruto in the wooded area. Naruto sees this and decides something that he may either get him to drive faster or get Naruto in major trouble. Either way, when Naruto looks up and he sees the sun is setting, he realizes that he's been chasing him the whole day, and the rest of the time that he lost was basically him forming chakra and him formulating a plan, so he lost the bet and now he has to train with Jiraiya. After this, he and Jiraiya start training, and Naruto notices that Jiraiya seems to have knowledge about the Rinnegan, although it is rather limited. Jiraiya vows to teach Naruto 2 things: how to wield the Rinnegan correctly, and to teach Naruto how to summon creatures, mostly toads since Jiraiya's a toad stage. They decide to tackle the summoning issue first, just because it would be easiest to handle within a week, but to Jiraiya's surprise, Naruto picks up the summoning jutsu within 1 day. Naruto is able to enter his own seal, and convince Kurama to give him some chakra without having to do that life or death situation thing. In fact, when Naruto talks to Kurama, he notices that Kurama seems to like him for some reason, and Kurama actually slips up and calls him Hagoromo on accident. Naruto doesn't know who this is, and when Naruto asks Kurama why he called him that, he just smirks and says that he looks like him. Naruto, not knowing who that is, just leaves it at that. But before he goes away, again, Naruto turns and asks, "Did that guy you were talking about have the Rinnegan?" Kurama just says that he is aware. Basically, he says that, yeah, he did, and then he asks Kurama if he knows about the Rinnegan abilities. Kurama says that he's aware of some of them, but not all of them. Kurama then tells Naruto that the abilities that he does know. He says that the old man created the moon using the Rinnegan, and he also seemingly summoned these dark chakra rods that could absorb and manipulate chakra to some extent. Naruto then bows and thanks Kurama and comes back to the real world. After this, Naruto not only summons Gamabunta, but he summons a bird, chameleon, and a dog that all seem to have Rinnegan, and Naruto realizes that he can see through their eyes the same way that he can see through his clone's eyes. Naruto then just smiles creepily, and throughout the month, Jiraiya and Naruto train training with his Rinnegan abilities, basically. They even discover a few new abilities that Naruto has, and decide that they'll be useful in the Chunin exams. And on the final day, Jiraiya wishes him luck as Naruto rushes forward on the exams, ready to take on the Hyuga Prodigy. Now, as soon as Naruto gets to the exam stage, he sees Neji, who is looking rather confident in himself and basically expecting himself to win, and Naruto is happy to see it. Because of what Neji did to Hinata, Naruto wants Neji to expect to win, but get utterly bodied and humiliated. And when the match starts, Naruto looks at Hinata and gives her a thumbs up. And then, Naruto notices and he turns to her and gives her a big smile as he sees Sakura. Neji, seeing an opportunity, strikes at Naruto, and both Hinata and Sakura scream to Naruto to look out, and Naruto just turns, and with a swift kick to the chest, he sends Neji flying across the battlefield. Naruto then just turns to Neji and says, "Remember that evaluation you gave Hinata? Making her show her true self? How about I use my Rinnegan to do the same thing to you?" Neji then strikes at Naruto again, and Naruto just says, "First off, you are too slow. There's no way you can expect to hit me with that level of speed." Naruto then goes for an attack, and Neji responds by using palm rotation, which catches Naruto off guard for the first time. Tenten and Neji both feel confident in their abilities as Tenten starts bragging about the invincibility of the Hyuga clan 360 palm rotation. Naruto then responds by running at Neji, extending his hand into the rotation, and grabbing Neji's hand and stopping the rotation altogether. Naruto then just turns to Tenten and says, "What happened? I thought this defense was invincible." "That's your second problem, Neji." Then he kicks him in the chest, making him fly across the stage again. "You're overconfident in yourself for no reason. You aren't that strong." Neji is shook when he sees this, that his defense was so easily destroyed, and Neji starts to feel helpless, knowing that there's no way that he could beat this monster. Naruto then looks to Rock Lee and just says that this move is for him. Naruto then disappears from everyone's vision for a second. Might Guy remarks that the speed that Naruto is going at is faster than even Lee when he uses the third gate. Then, Naruto pushes himself even further, and for an instant, he surpasses even 5th gate Lee's speed and appears underneath Neji, and with a heavy kick, sends Neji flying into the air, high above the stands. Naruto then just says Rinnegan style, primary lotus, and then he uses his Tendo abilities to send Neji crashing into the earth with a heavy thud. Naruto then walks over to Neji and whispers in his ear, "Maybe you shouldn't brag about being a genius. Better being hard workers." And he leans closer and says, "Cause Neji, let me tell you this. You aren't a genius." And then Naruto stands up and holds his hands toward the crowd in victory. And the entire crowd goes absolutely insane as they see that Naruto basically went up one of the strongest Genin, and they want him to go against even more strong people and pit them all up against Naruto. Then Sasuke appears there after their fight, and Naruto wishes him luck, and after the exchange between them, Konoha Crush is put into play, and all hell breaks loose. Now, after Gaara goes stupid and dips into the forest, Sasuke pursues, and Naruto, being able to resist the Genjutsu that was placed on them, grabs Sakura and heads straight for Sasuke. Shikamaru does end up tagging along via request from Kakashi, and as soon as they are going, Naruto realizes that they're being followed by a band of Chunin, and instead of Shikamaru seemingly sacrificing himself for the team, Naruto turns around and charges them, and then rejoins the group in a matter of minutes. Naruto then picks up Sakura and tells Shikamaru to catch up with them later, so Naruto can actually go full speed, and he asks Kurama for some chakra. And because Kurama's fondness for Takaromo and Naruto's likeness with the Rinnegan, Kurama not only gives Naruto chakra, but he amps him quite a bit more than he usually would. And then Naruto's off and speeds towards Sasuke, and actually catches up as soon as they start fighting. But Naruto can already tell, Gaara will absolutely body him if he doesn't help. Naruto then puts Sakura down and rushes off at Gaara after Sasuke forced the curse mark open and used a Chidori. Naruto kicks Gaara away from Sasuke, and Naruto hands Sasuke's unconscious body over to Sakura and gets ready to fight Gaara. And Naruto is finally ready to try out some of his new abilities on someone worthy of them. And then Gaara and Naruto go at it. And for the most part, Naruto is actually kind of bodying Gaara in his half-transformed state. But as Gaara transforms more and more, Naruto starts getting pressed more and more. He starts getting a little bit more overwhelmed. To the point where Naruto is actually stalemating Gaara because Naruto is currently worried about his attacks hurting Sasuke and Sakura, since any attack strong enough to hurt Gaara would end up hurting those two as well. Naruto then turns around to Sakura and tells her to run and get Sasuke out of there. But in that split second of distraction, Naruto is hit by Gaara and sent flying down to the ground where he lands with a thud. He uses Shinra Tensei in order to soften his fall, but he still lands pretty hard. Then Gaara leaps at Sakura, and Naruto is just barely able to get his bearings, and since he can't use a Tendo ability for the next 5 seconds, he decides to save Sakura by jumping in front of her and pulls out 2 chakra rods and stabs Gaara's arms, pinning him to a tree. When Gaara tries to struggle, he starts feeling his strength fade from his body, and Gaara is forced to let Shukaku run rampant in order to beat Naruto. And when Naruto sees Shukaku, Naruto gets up, summons a ton of Kurama chakra, and then leaps into the air and summons a bird that he lands on and flies towards Shukaku. Then Naruto jumps off the bird onto Shukaku himself and starts falling towards Gaara. Gaara then shoots a sand bullet at Sakura and Sasuke, and Naruto, instantly reacting, pulls himself over there and gets in the way, getting hit by this ability. And when he lands almost unconscious, but he does force himself to get up, just kind of summoning more and more Kurama chakra in order to force himself up. Then Naruto gets back on Shukaku's head, and as he's about to attack Gaara, some sand surrounds Naruto completely, covering him ready to smother him. Naruto then focuses and says, "Shinra Tensei," and the sand explodes around him. He then rushes at Gaara and punches him so hard that he wakes up, and Naruto and both Gaara fall, but Naruto can't even summon enough chakra to do anything but fall, so he and Gaara both fall to the ground, and they both land, bleeding heavily from their injuries. Naruto's breathing is ragged from that hit from Gaara, since it was in a full Shukaku form, which basically is ready to body him. I can't understand your pain of being treated horribly, Gaara. I'm sorry that I can't. I'm sorry that all those things happen to you. But you have a responsibility to your village. People like us, people with gifts, we need to help and protect those who can't. Geniuses like us are born and placed here so we can help the weak and help them grow and become strong. It may not be a favorable fate that we are handed, but it is ours to take and hold and accept nonetheless. Gaara, you are strong. Don't prey on those weaker than you. Help them nourish and help them grow. That is the destiny we have. We do this for our friends and we do this for our family. Look around, Gaara. You have at least 2 friends, and I know you do. We do this for our village. And that last word, Naruto stops moving as his breathing becomes short and labored, and Naruto collapses just moments before he can summon the King of Hell to heal himself. And that, everybody, is where I'm going to end part 4 to the What If Naruto the Rinnegan series. If you guys want another part, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you know you're notified when I put out another part. Make sure to hit the like button so you guys can actually hit the like goal. And make sure that you share the video, because why not? Anyways, this is going to be AnimeX, signing off.